Hello, welcome to Yellow Card No Tarot with me. My name is Carole, and this is going to be a general reading for you for February 2026. If you're coming back to my channel, I want to thank you for supporting me again. And if you're brand new to my channel, we're about 2 years old, so I want to welcome you to Yellow Card No Tarot, and comment down below to let me know that you're here and you just found me. And I encourage you to subscribe because that helps get my readings out actually to more people that need them. So in today's reading, before I sat down, I had thought about a while back, what am I going to do for February's reading? And the word authenticity came to my head. And I thought, this is something about being authentic with yourself. And so I thought right away of the Ace of Swords in my deck, because that is pure authenticity to me. It's a card that always is an invitation to bring some clarity to your life and to see things more clearly, not necessarily the way that you always hope they are, or maybe or always wish that they would be. And so it's going to be about bringing some honesty. In particular, it's going to be about bringing honesty with yourself, and sometimes having to sit with some very uncomfortable emotions to get to where you need to get to. And finally, you know, it's going to be asking you to start living and speaking from what's really real for you and not what you were taught to be, because the sword represents authenticity, but it's the mental body. So it also represents like our mental thoughts, these opinions that we have that, you know, we inherited when we were young, and especially opinions about ourselves. And so the reading that we're going to be doing today is called Coming Back to Your Truth. And this reading is about what illusions or false beliefs do you have that you're holding on to that need to be released. And then in order to release these, you have to do some healing around this. There's always, whenever we have some situation that we need to do and we're just kind of stuck and we don't want to do it, there's always some healing that's related to, you know, that's around our childhood and our adolescence that needs to take place, because what's going on with us right now is triggering what happened to us when we were younger, when we were in a similar situation. And then finally, what does the tarot suggest for you to reconnect, to start to reconnect with your true self? And there'll be a little bit of advice there, and then also I'll suggest some other videos that you might want to go to on my other channel called Carole Cares. And then I have a website as well that I'll talk about in a second. And so, 2 oracle cards. I pulled out 2 oracle cards for you before I came on here, just to get an idea of exactly what we're dealing with you. And so the first card that you pulled out from the Shaman's Dream. And you'll be hearing a little bit about shamanism, because I'm a shamanic practitioner. And so I actually am offering some healings if you're interested, but I like to offer you a 15-minute consultation, first of all, a free one. There's no pressure whatsoever, and you can talk to me over a Zoom call and talk to me about, you know, whether shamanic healing would be good for you. And the link for that is down below, and I also do some personal tarot readings if you're interested in that. You'll also find the link in my description box as well. So the first card for your shamanic dream, your shaman's dream, sorry, is the Moon Maiden, New Beginnings. She comes here almost like promising or maybe offering you new beginnings. So she's saying that, you know, there's a new part of you that's aching to come out into this world. And it's going to be a very new beginning for you. And it's part of your soul's calling. And so you are really being asked here, and maybe you know what it is, but there's something here that's pulling you, and it's just something that's completely different, maybe something you haven't done before, but it's going to be something that, you know, you're going to be a little bit asking to be visible, right? Because other people are going to see you, whatever this is. And it's no surprise that the next card that I pulled from the Return of Spirit right here is the fearless card. So you can imagine what that card's asking you to be. I mean, fear is a little bit of fear is normal. But when we have this incredible fear that's blocking you from progress, whenever you get that in your system where it's almost like it's this incredible anxiety or fear coming up in your system, a lot of people think, well, this isn't meant for me then, and they'll back away from whatever they're being asked to do. But whatever we're being asked to do, whenever it's something very purposeful for ourselves and for other people around us, maybe, it can be very, very fearful. And it's also something that's very meaningful, and it's what you're meant to do. When there's this incredible resistance in your system to doing it, it means that it's very important and you're meant to go for it. And so this is where you're sitting right now, where you're being asked to go for this, but you're sitting in some real fear. And so that's where we're going to sit with this. We're going to look at it. We're going to find out what's going on with your system, what illusions, false beliefs do you have about yourself, what are you holding on to right now. So let's start off with one card, and you got the 8 of Pentacles, and I don't know if I said it, but I'm using the Ehrenberg Tarot right now. And then what needs healing in order to let this go? What needs healing in order to let this go? One card. Okay, you have the Emperor card. And what does the tarot suggest for you to reconnect to your true self? You have the Moon in reverse. I'm going to clarify these with the Tarot of AE Weight. So I'm going to ask, ask for a couple cards for the 8 of Pentacles here. Just to get us going. A couple cards. Okay, you have the 6 of Pentacles and the Magician card sideways. The Emperor. A couple cards to clarify. Okay, that came out with it. Strength card and the 5 of Cups. A lot of times I just let it go. It'll be 1. But this one said, no, I'm going to have 2. So, Moon in reverse. I'm always fascinated how these cards come out. You have the 8 of Pentacles, and it's very interesting because this is what you're starting off with. So that's coming out here. So big focus on that 8 of Pentacles. I always love when it ends up coming at the end for you, what started at the beginning. And one more card for this 8 of Pentacles and the Moon. There we go. Okay, 10 of Wands. Let's begin. What illusion or false belief are you holding on to that needs to be released? Well, there's you have the 8 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Pentacles speaks about this individual doing. Usually, it's about a job. So it's an individual that's creating all these pentacles, and has been and is really getting a lot of joy out of it. It's their passion. And so I think that there's definitely here an offer for you on the table. Maybe you're feeling like you need to change your job, something about your job. Maybe you're going to leave that job and do something else. And it could be something very creative as well. Oftentimes when I've heard so many times when people are in a job that they don't really like, but it brings them the money, and they're being offered to do something else, and being pulled towards something else that they love to do. But maybe they think they're not going to make enough money, or not going to make a lot of money out of that. And so money will hold them back. But whatever it is, that there's something on the table here where I think you're being pulled away from what you're doing. And you're being asked, you're being pulled to go into a different direction, and it's going to be something that is going to be more passionate for you, something that you're really going to love. And for some reason, you're sitting here, I can see that you're telling yourself a lot of things, and one of the things you're telling yourself is this Six of Pentacles, this individual that's giving out this money. He actually weighs these coins before he gives it to the beggars, and if the beggar says, I only want 3 coins, then that's what he'll weigh out. He's not going to give them more than what they want. And so this is really a card of worthiness, self-worth. So I think you're going through a lot of feelings of, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I'm the right person for this, for whatever reason it is. But you're telling yourself all kinds of doubts and illusions about what you've grown up to believe, what you've been holding on to all these years that people have told you about yourself. And it's now coming out right now as you're ready to do something for yourself. It could be something this small. And it's something that, I want to go take a new course on something because that's what I've always wanted to do, and I wasn't allowed to do it when I was younger. Anything where you're just feeling, I think you're intuitively feeling that this is meant for you. This is what you want to do. And but your unworthiness is kicking in. It's like, I don't think so. And that's shame. It's shame around the messages you've been told when you were younger. And right behind it is the Magician card, and this card's been coming out a lot in my readings. The Magician card talks about this manifestor, this powerful individual that has all the elements at his disposal. He has the swords, the cups, and the wand, and the pentacle there sitting there, and he's completely grounded. If you notice, he's like a lightning rod, and he's completely grounded on the earth. You can see all these flowers, this vegetation here that's going on at the bottom of the card. And he's very, very grounded. And that's the only reason why he can make this happen. And it's sideways here because it's kind of a card that's saying, are you sure you're grounded right now? Because when we get into this kind of a state when we're just in complete denial about that we can do this, or maybe we're sitting here in an incredible amount of fear and resistance with this fearless card coming out here of not being able to do this. Well, then it's time now that you need to get in touch with this inner guidance that you have. It's called your intuition, right? And but I think you're having a hard time making the decision on your own. It's like you're wanting someone to give you the answer. And I say that because the Magician card talks about you having everything in you to make your own decision, but you don't believe that for some reason. You don't believe that you're that powerful, that you can do this. that I can make this decision myself to do this. You just have so many doubts and fear going on in your system that it's just like, I don't believe I can do this. And so what in you needs healing? In order for you to let this go, in order for you to get some clarity on the situation. The first card that comes out that's sitting in your shadow, that's sitting in your unconscious, is the Emperor card. And that's a powerful number 4. It's a stable, solid number. And I think of this often because it's a masculine card. And I think of this often as that one individual, maybe it was more than one individual in your life when you were younger, that was that solid figure that to you it seemed like they were solid, where they were the ones that set the rules and they told you, you know, what you were allowed to do, what you weren't allowed to do. Oftentimes I look at this as the society and what society says you're allowed to do and not allowed to do. So maybe you're wanting to go into a job that has been, you know, meant in the past for, let me see, the females. For example, I almost think of nursing job, where oftentimes I know, you know, growing up when if I've ever gone into the hospital and you see a male nurse, now it's becoming more and more common, but it's just something like that where it's like, no, this is not meant. Maybe you were told when you were younger, you know, girls can't do this or boys can't do this or whatever it was you were told. Something that society had said that, you know, you weren't allowed to do this for some reason. Maybe you were told you weren't smart enough. Maybe, you know, you were told that you were dumb, you were stupid. Some of us are told, a lot of people are told that actually, that you're just not smart enough to do this, you know. You're not beautiful enough, you're not strong enough, whatever it is, you're not enough, right? And this card, I think it was this one maybe, or was it, yeah, it might have been this card actually, where it's like, maybe there's this new beginning for yourself, but maybe you are comparing yourself to other people right now. And I think, you know, the Strength card comes in right underneath this Emperor card when you were younger. And I think because you had such that, maybe an oppressive situation when you were younger where you were told you weren't allowed to do certain things for certain reasons, well, you really lost your strength. You lost your inner strength. This is what the Strength card is about. It represents inner strength. It's not anything to do with physical strength, but your inner strength to really believe in yourself that you can do this. And that's buried here. So that was buried. And I think this is the big emotion that's coming out here that you need to look at. And this individual is looking at these 3 cups, very much shrouded in darkness, right? Almost like going through a dark night of the soul, where they're just very feeling like they want to give up, feeling very depressed because they can't do what they want to do. And you know, teens often can become very depressed because if they're living in a situation where it's very oppressive and they're not allowed to do what they want to do, well, you can become very oppressed, very depressed actually. And you know, here's the emotions that are supposed to be flowing, but they're not flowing anymore. And I think that's what's happening with you, is that this whole situation when you were younger, being told that you can't do something, you're not allowed to do something, this is what's coming up for you right now, and this is what you're hearing in your head. It's like, are you crazy? Why do you want to do that? And that's what's blocking you. And so you have this incredible fear coming up in your system because when you were younger, you were conditioned to believe that you couldn't do this. And so this resistance that you're feeling, this fear, this is what needs healing. And so let's go at, what does the tarot suggest? How do you reconnect with yourself? Well, the first card is your Moon card, and that's in reverse. And the Moon card talks about things that are hidden. And your unconscious is hidden to you. And your unconscious, things that are hidden, well, here's your Moon card. The Moon card represents your intuition. It's something that's hidden. It's something that a lot of us don't know that we have. It is our inner guidance. It's our inner knowing. And yours is blocked right now. I think you know you want to do this, but you're just not sure. You're having so many doubts around it. But the universe says, well, it's time for you to tap into your intuition, this beautiful feminine quality that we all have. It has nothing to do with your gender. But, you know, in order to tap into your intuition, you need to be in your body. You need to be grounded. You need to, and that way you're going to get in touch with that intuition. And that you need to feel these feelings of maybe you were very angry about what happened when you were younger because you weren't allowed to do this. Maybe there's a lot of grief. Oftentimes when there's depression here, there's a lot of grief behind your depression. And we cover that. It's like depression becomes a smoke screen because we don't want to get to that grief. It's a really difficult emotion to get to, the real heavy grieving, especially when it has some kind of a memory behind it. And so your next card is your Eight of Pentacles coming out again. When you get in touch with your intuition, and your intuition is your inner guidance, like I said, it's your inner knowing. That's what's going to give you the clarity. That's what's going to give you the truth on where you're going to go. This is your Eight of Pentacles, and it's going to give you the truth and the strength, too, of doing this and being able to do this. And I think, you know, these burdens that you've been carrying around so long, this 10 of Wands right here, right? I think you're going to be able to finally release when you get in touch with your intuition and your sense of who you really are and what you're meant to be doing. You're going to be able to release this heavy doubt and fear that you've been carrying on for so long, because this is what you were given when you were in your childhood. So I think what I'm going to leave you with is, I think I said grounding is really important to you right now. And so I want you to learn how to ground. And I'm going to give you a couple videos that I made a few years back. And it shows you how I ground myself so I can get in touch with my intuition. And I'll give you a lot of information on that. And so Virgo, I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. I know this is a very difficult journey, and especially what you're going through right now. But this is the most important journey of your life, the healing journey. So take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.